December 2019, news about a highly infectious disease broke, sending the world into a frenzy with resources pumped into getting a vaccine.
WHO has been assessing this outbreak around the clock, and we're deeply concerned both by the alarming levels of spread and severity and by the alarming levels of inaction. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Nearly 2 years in, more than 251 million people have been infected globally, with over 7 billion vaccines administered. With at least 5 vaccines approved for use, COVID-19 virus has mutated over time, and now there is a variant of concern circulating.
Majority of the countries, if you do what we call sequencing of the virus to see what kind of variant it is, largely the whole world, at 99.999% of the world now is being affected by the Delta variant. Now, more recently, there's been information about a little change on the Delta variant that is now being referred to as a Delta plus, but we're not sure whether that has any significance. When there is a change, we call that variant of concern. Initially, we call it variant of interest and then variant of concern. And the concern here is the virus being transmitted more easily than the previous variant, or is the variant causing more severe disease than the previous variant, or is the variant now escaping vaccine?
During a science cafe organized by Mesha, Kenya, Professor Walter Jaoko emphasized the need for people to get vaccinated to prevent severe symptoms of the disease or even death.
Don't wait for a vaccine that you are dreaming of. Like some people I meet, they say they're waiting for the Johnson & Johnson that it's only a single injection. You can't wait. You don't know whether you'll get COVID before you get that particular vaccine.
However, the biggest question remains, does the mutations affect the current vaccine's effectiveness?
There is no evidence, so that is one of the things that we are still finding out, whether a mutation of the virus will lead to the vaccine not working. So when a virus mutates, there are 3 concerns that we are looking for. We want to see whether it will be transmitted more easily because of the mutation, whether it will cause more severe disease because of the mutation, or if it will not be prevented by the vaccine. So what we say, the vaccine will not be, it will do what we call vaccine escape. So it will escape being protected by the vaccine. So for each of these mutations, we have to investigate whether any of those things are true.
And as countries across the world race towards vaccinating 40% of its populations, Africa still lags behind, with only 4.2% receiving at least the first dose.
The shortage of people being vaccinated in Africa is twofold. One, the vaccines are not as easily available, and that has been addressed by the formation of a facility known as COVAX. The second one is vaccine hesitancy, where people, although the vaccines are available, they are not going for the vaccination, what we call vaccine hesitancy. And this has largely been caused by false information about the vaccine, misleading information that the vaccine will make you infertile, that the vaccine will kill you, and so on. So that false information, which unfortunately is manufactured from the West, where the vaccine uptake is very high, is consumed in Africa, where people then are reluctant to go for vaccination. So we need to address those 2 issues. One, increase the supply of the vaccines, and 2, to address the misconception about the vaccine.
Dr. Lilian Mwakyosi from Tanzania also says the low uptake of COVID-19 vaccine in the African continent goes deeper than just hesitancy.
people would compare the fact that maybe a larger population in the US are given maybe Pfizer and Moderna, and they would question why is it that people in Africa are being given maybe Janssen and AstraZeneca. And we've had myths around vaccines. These COVID-19 vaccines were created to wipe out Africans. And perhaps this is one of the reasons why there's very low progress when it comes to COVID-19 vaccinations, because people already have this thinking that vaccines are meant to kill them. But also, as you may know, in the African context, our men really value their manhood. So there've been concerns around being impotent when they take the COVID-19 vaccines, but also infertility for the case of ladies. There have been a lot of questions around infertility because they're told that COVID-19 vaccines are meant to, control the world's population.
So will there be a COVID-19 vaccine that offers lifetime immunity?
When you're making a vaccine, our hope is that the vaccine will last forever. The protection that is generated. That is the hope of all scientists. But when you develop a vaccine, you have to observe it and follow up people to see whether what you are desiring is what is achieved. And it's hard to say.
To date, more than 7.3 billion vaccine doses have been administered globally, with 27 million doses administered daily. Winnie Lubembe for Mesha.